All right. Hello, everybody. How are you guys? I hope you guys are good. I hope you're having a fantastic day or night, no matter where you are. Oh, okay. So, first, want to say those of you that are just finding this channel, welcome. We're so happy to have you. Those of you that are returning, you guys are awesome. So glad to have you back. Okay. If you did not see the live from this morning, please make sure you go and check that out. And we're going to pick up where we left off. Except, I'm not going to obviously play that video where I left off, but we're going to get right into it. Okay. Lots to discuss, lots to go over. Okay. So before we get started, do me a favor and hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you have not already done so. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just pulling this up here for you. Settle in and we will get started. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, so let's play this first because we're going to go back to this ransom note. In Savannah's interview, she had said that she believed two of the ransom notes to be real. So I want to look at this.
It's written like a ransom note for Savannah Guthrie's mother. So we got something in our email that looks like a ransom. It's written.
Why do I have no sound? Okay. My freaking sound's not working.
Written like a ransom note for Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Why?
Specific requests
and they're very
for certain amounts of money.
Very.
Give me a second, guys. Kids in there freaking. You can? I can't hear him.
Bitcoin.
I
And
can
also,
now.
they say at the bottom, there are certain things they're
that.
saying, something in our email that looks like a ransom. It's written like
certain amounts of money.
Very specific.
Bitcoin.
And also, they say at the bottom, there are certain things they're saying about what she was wearing and damage to the house.
That they're clearly saying to verify that
it's us.
We know what we're talking about here.
So we've contacted the sheriff's department, and we want to get them this letter. We had a little trouble getting through to the right person, but the person we spoke with is now forwarding this to somebody in the detective bureau. So if my phone rings, I may have to stop. And
what's interesting is you know, there was just a news conference that just ended with the sheriff, and he was asked about, we're going to do this segment in a few minutes, but he was asked about a ransom note, and he just said, we're following all leads.
Yeah, and this is, it's, again, we don't know
if
it's
this is legit, right.
if it's authentic or not, but they're, when you read it, they're acting as if, yeah, only we would know these things,
Right.
and we're serious, and there's a dollar demand and an or else in there. So we will let you know as this thing kind of develops.
Okay, now as I was saying earlier today, it's very weird to me that like a professional, like if this was a professional job, it doesn't make sense that they would reach out to TMZ. Like if it's about Savannah and money, why not go through NBC? Why not go through her news station? You know what I mean? Or why not go directly to the family? Like why TMZ? Now I know about the connections. Yes, I understand the dots connect on that aspect. But as I was saying earlier, to me, it doesn't make any sense. If this whole thing was done by a person who this was not their first rodeo, like a professional, if this was done by a professional and the whole goal was to get money from Savannah, then to me, it doesn't make sense that they would take the risk of taking an 84-year-old woman with health issues and serious mobility issues, because the risk is too high. There may be a chance something could go wrong, and they know they're not going to get that money if that happens. So, like I said, to me, a more likely target would be somebody else close to Savannah or Savannah herself, right? I mean, if you're talking about a sophisticated, professional, put together job, I'm just saying, it's a little odd to me. All right. What do you guys think? Hi from Albuquerque. Hello from Tucson. Hope you guys are having a good day or night, no matter where you are. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, so just so you guys know, we're going to cover a bunch of different stuff. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, and they may not necessarily be in order. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Sorry, I'm going to pull this up. We talked about this woman. We saw the video where the woman was a 911 operator and she hung up on people and someone died because she hung up. And then they found out she had hung up on 1,000 calls and she was fired. Like she was like, I don't want to do this. I shouldn't have to do this. I don't feel like working.
Court with a court-appointed attorney.
So we're going to catch up to what happened to her after she got arrested.
Court with a court-appointed attorney, Williams refused to answer any questions on why she allegedly hung up on people calling 911 for help. But prosecutors did talk to us, saying in the 2 cases that they've looked at so far, Williams hung up on callers using the emergency line. One caller was trying to report a store robbery that resulted in a clerk being killed. Another caller was trying to report illegal street racing. Now, on that call, Williams's voice was recorded, and you won't believe what prosecutors say they heard from Williams's own mouth.
there was one recording where she hung up on a gentleman who was calling to report people who were racing on the freeways. And after the phone call is disconnected, you can still hear her speaking. And what she says is, ain't nobody got time for this for real.
43-year-old Crenshawnda Williams, she's charged in 2 other cases. According to police, thousands of dropped 911 calls made between October 2015 and March 2016 are attributed to Williams. The lady who called us, Sharon Stevens, says on March 1st, she passed out in her yard due to a blood clot. Her husband called 911 for help, and Williams, she says, answered that call.
She was gasping, and I could feel her heart beating out of her chest, but I couldn't get a pulse. I had Red Cross training and CERT training.
Right.
And
What the hell was
I kept
that?
working on her. I called 911, and she said, "This is Crenshawnda. May I help you?" I said, "Yes, my wife's passed out. I need an ambulance." When she said, "Okay," and she hangs up on me.
I was furious because he didn't tell me, because I would have, I would have.
What? Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. No.
We're not doing enough.
Dude.
Dude, some fat person.
That's okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Gotten from my hospital bed and gone to 911, find out who did that to me. Because it could have been somebody else and they could have died.
Yeah, now they say it took a second call to 911 to get an ambulance here. And as you can see, happily, Miss Stevens survived.
Isn't
Court with a
that
court.
insane? Like, that is this woman's job. That's crazy to me. Absolutely shouldn't fight. I mean, she should be in trouble because that's crazy. Your job is to answer 911 calls. These are emergencies. Oh, let's see. Ugh. You can't say stuff like that in the chat. That's going to get flagged. Sorry, hold on. That is insane. There's like, I don't know what's happening. Oh, check this out. Dude, whatever they're doing is like messing with stuff. Okay. 4 people collected $141,000 from insurance companies by dressing up as a bear. This might be the craziest fraud case of the year. One of them put on a bear costume and climbed inside a Rolls Royce, filmed it, and sent the video to their insurance company claiming a real bear had gotten in and damaged the car. Same thing with a Mercedes G63 AMG and a Mercedes E350. 3 cars, same location, 3 different insurance companies. An actual biologist was brought in to review the footage. He exposed them instantly and said that is clearly a human in a bear suit. The reason they got caught, a light brown costume in a state where only black bears exist. Police raided the house and found the bear costume and metal meat claws used to take scratch marks out of the leather seats. You cannot make this up. This is crazy.
The state investigating the claim after 2 similar but separate claims were filed to other insurance companies, including a 2015 and a 2022 Mercedes, each claim stating a bear attack and video.
I haven't actually ever heard of a bear attack up here, but I have seen coyotes. It just sounds unusual. But again, there is wildlife here, so.
Investigators say a biologist with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife confirmed the bear was fake. They say the alleged animal didn't leave a trace like saliva, urine, or hair, and the scratches didn't match the animal's claw.
I couldn't really tell. I mean, I couldn't tell. Like, I couldn't tell if it was bear because it's black and white, and you see like something moving in the car.
4 people from LA County were arrested, according to the state, after a search warrant revealed this bear costume was found inside their home, which they believe was used in the scam. It's unclear if the group was visiting or part of the mountain community.
We're all hurting in this
Oh, that's
economy,
wild to
but
me.
you're hurting our community with giving us a bad name and giving our wildlife a bad name.
And the California Department of Insurance tells us the insurance companies involved were scammed of more than $140,000. The San
Damn.
Bernardino County District Attorney's Office telling us all of those details.
That is, I mean, not very smart though, right? They had 3 vehicles from the same location, all real nice, expensive vehicles, same exact location, and they used a brown bear costume, and they only have black bears in the area. That's funny to me. I was like, people, but it's crazy that it's like that. That's wild. Yeah, I have so much of my stuff bookmarked that it's when the power went out and I needed to, it's not in order. So, but we'll get into all that. We got to cover more Nancy. We got to cover JLR. We got to cover a bunch of stuff that's going on. We got to cover Palm Beach Pete, which we'll get to all that. Breaking video has been released of the FBI raiding the home of Los Angeles School Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. A search warrant is being executed on both his home and the LA school's headquarters. The district has recently misplaced $76 million in taxpayer funds, falsified student attendance records, and more. The superintendent was once an illegal alien, and he's been allowing kids out of schools to take over the streets of Okay, well.
Breaking today, federal agents raiding the Los Angeles Unified School District headquarters and the home of Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. The FBI confirming that it executed search warrants, but withholding any further detail. The superintendent has recently made headlines for fighting with federal officials over immigration enforcement efforts in his district.
See, they make it about that. Let's just skip over the $76 million of fraud. Let's just skip over that and, make it and push it towards an immigration issue. When all we've seen is fraud. That's all we hear about is the government and fraud. Like taxpayer money gone, missing. All these companies, none of them legit, taking all this money, getting all this funding. This fraud. We're not trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. It's like probably more than, I would say, probably a good big chunk of that is probably fraud, missing money, gone. But listen, if you're late on taxes or you're late on something or you make a mistake, oh no, that $500 mistake is you're in huge trouble. But we're just missing billions and billions of dollars. No big deal. No biggie. I'm sad he's back in Tucson. I lost all respect when I heard him comment on how much revenue he put into Tucson, food, gas, etc. It's your fucking job. He chose to be here and made his money here. I bet it's crazy. I bet it's been crazy there though, because you had said you don't live too far from the Nancy's area, and I bet it was crazy there with all the media, especially in the beginning when all this was going on, like when it first started. I bet it was a little wild. But I'll say the one thing it has made it seem like on the news is that you guys have like a lot of like it's kind of scary in that area. Like there's a lot of break-ins and home invasions and stuff that happen in your area, or like people lurking in backyards and stuff. Like that's scary. Like we've seen, because look at all the people that have come out and they'll post a picture and they'll be like, oh, this person was sneaking around a yard. Is this related to Nancy? We saw this person looking in the windows of this home. Is this related to Nancy? And so all these things were coming out within a distance from her house. And it was like, damn. Seems a little sketchy area, you know? Okay. It has just been revealed that Congress is officially looking into the scientists linked to space, gravity, and energy that have been going missing. Have y'all heard about this?
While another 3 scientists were either murdered or found.
A year ago, there was another scientist that was like in a relative field as the general, that she's been missing for a year. And then there was just recently someone else. There's been like quite a few disappearances. Well, they say missing. I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
Found dead in just the last. Yeah, scientists are mysteriously disappearing, and now U.S. congressmen are looking for answers. Within a span of 8 months, 2 major figures in the Air Force Research Lab vanished without a trace. Monica Reza, a rocket scientist, went missing while hiking in Los Angeles back in June, and retired Air Force Major General William Neal McCaslin, who reportedly oversaw classified space weapons programs and has been described as a, quote, UFO expert, disappeared from his home on February 27th. Meanwhile, another 3 scientists were either murdered or found dead in just the last 3 months, including an astrophysicist credited with discovering water on a distant planet, and an MIT scientist whose research reportedly may be tied to secret UFO technology. Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett tells the Daily Mail that he sees a clear pattern in these disappearances and deaths, noting their work has been linked to theories about alien spacecraft.
Now, one thing I will say is, listen, when the e-files dropped, right? When the e-files got posted, and people started going through them, and we were all going through them, and I was like that's anything. That was like the most important thing that people should have been talking about. And I was like, what are they gonna do? Like, to distract? You're never gonna be able to distract people from these emails. I was like, what's it gonna be? Aliens? You know? And it's funny because now I feel like they're bringing like, oh, this alien, or this scientist was, you know, researching aliens, and this scientist was researching UFOs, and this science was doing, you know what I mean? Whatever. And now they're all missing, and it's linked to alien activity. So, you know, I wonder if that's, you know, that's what's happening, because let's not pretend that if there have been extraterrestrials this entire lifetime, like they knew about it. So to act now, you know what I mean? So to bring this stuff out now publicly is almost like a distraction, I feel like. Not saying that it's not legit. I'm just saying that for them to be putting it out now. But even now, though, since this stuff has come out, people are still like, aliens, no big deal. Let's get back to the e-files. Like, why is nothing being done? So for whatever it's worth, just my opinion, let me make a blanket statement here and say everything in this video is strictly my opinion based off of the research I have done and my perception of it. Think for yourself, do your own research, form your own opinions. Everything is alleged. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Okay.
Here with the reaction is Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson, who is a member of the task force on the declassification of federal secrets. Congressman, thank you for joining us. You know, a lot of people are going to hear alien UFO, they're going to roll their eyes. So let's tackle it from this. These are some of the nexus that these people, I think it's up to 8 now, with 2 or 3 kind of being maybe a murder-suicide. But I think it's up to 8 that have some sort of connection to specific places, like I believe it's Los Alamos, the lab there. And so to the very least, these are people who were working in or recently administrators on tech that we're still trying to figure out, whether it's nuclear or dark matter or however you want to look at it, whatever angle you want to take. They had something in common, and now they've mysteriously disappeared or died.
Yeah, it's remarkable that General McCaslin apparently walked out of his home, left all of his devices, and never came back. And Monica Reza, she was on a hike as well and mysteriously disappeared. And I've heard of others. We've already sent a letter. When I first came in, I heard of another gentleman, and I'll keep that name to you know, out of respect. I sent a letter to the FBI investigating the suspicious suicide of another individual who had worked alongside, you know, other whistleblowers like David Grush and Jake Barber who had come forward. So their colleague is mysteriously committed suicide. We've already sent the letter to the FBI to investigate that, and that is an ongoing investigation. So these are other things that we'll probably be reaching out to the FBI to see if they have anything going on this, and if not, then we're going to ask them to do that.
Yeah, certainly, Congressman. I am all bought and.
While we're talking about this, just for, what do you guys think? Do you guys believe in extraterrestrials? Do you believe in aliens? If you do, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. And if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and comment down in the comment section below. I'm just curious. I mean, it's 2026. Knowing everything we know now, I just wonder what people think.
Sold in to the alien discussion. I watched a documentary that I reference on this show often called Age of Disclosure. I'm sure you're familiar with it. But in that documentary, those that have seen it know that those that are whistleblowers and talking about UFO activity, alien activity, they know that you know, they are fearful of retaliation, retribution, whatever, for disclosing alien activity or the, you know, I guess anything related to it. So how much of this are you concerned? It could be not the aliens themselves doing this, but somebody who possibly wants to shut people up. That's what I'm concerned about.
That's my concern as well. Look, let's set the alien from another planet topic aside. There's clearly demonstrated technology that is extremely advanced, and I've seen videos. We've had a lot of reports. We've had pilots that have encountered these objects. There is a type of technology that is so cutting edge and advanced, you know, whether it's being held by a foreign entity or a private contractor in the United States. What's clear is that they are doing. There's a lot of work to keep very highly guarded the secret of that technology, and and also probably a lot of work that's being done by our adversaries to try to discover what this technology is.
Congressman Kevin Cork with you. If you're from St. Louis, I'd say, where'd you go to high school? But I know you are from the great state of Missouri, and we appreciate your time tonight. I do want to ask you about 2 parts to this question. One, is it possible that there was a romantic nexus between the 2 folks that may have disappeared, or have you all looked into that particular angle? And I guess the second part of my question is, as it relates to discoveries, be they extraterrestrial, be they spiritual bodies, this is something that's incredibly fascinating to millions and millions of people all over the world. Is it unreasonable to expect that there might be, to use an oft-used phrase, more out there?
On your first question, the thought had crossed my mind as well, but I'll let the investigators determine that. I don't want to speculate because at the end of the day, these individuals that have gone missing have loved ones and family members that we don't want to. I don't want to, muddy that. But to your second question about, look, that's what we're looking into. I'm trying to figure out what is going on, what is actually flying in our airspace, what's going over some of our whether it's a military base or some of our missile silos locations. There's a lot of activity that's reported and documented, and it's important that we identify and figure out what's going on. Now, in my effort, what I've made very clear is that if I uncover the fact that we are not alone in this universe, that's not something for any politician, any government to withhold from humanity. That is not top secret, and it shouldn't be top secret. But any kind of advanced technology that keeps us safe is probably something we should guard and protect.
Congressman, it's Nicole Sapphire. Kind of a two-part question. First of all, thinking about these scientists that are missing. I mean, when I was reading about them and reading about their backgrounds, I mean, Reza had a patented super alloy that was, the hopes were that was eliminate the U.S. reliance on Russian rocket tech. And then this company sold for $4.7 billion. When I hear numbers like that, and then I hear some of the international security issues, it does make me wonder, is there a reason for her to have gone missing, and not because of the UFO thing, but is there more at stake? It has something to do with, her patent and all of this money. But kind of my second part of what I want to say is what kind of piggybacking on what you were just saying is, Christopher Mellon, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense Intelligence during Clinton and Bush administrations, told the Post last week that the federal government possesses a jaw-dropping trove of photos and videos. If that's true, what is the impetus in keeping this from the American people? Is it so that there isn't a mass panic? Why would they do that?
I don't know why they've been keeping it a secret for so long. There are a lot of these videos that they're keeping classified have been captured on technology that we don't want our adversaries to know that we have the ability to capture. So in other words, the cameras themselves are highly classified, and because of that, we don't want to release the footage. Now, that doesn't mean that Congress shouldn't be able to see this, which is why I've been, we have a lot of whistleblowers that have come forward. I've been given a list of about 2 to 3 dozen of these files and have submitted a request, an official request to Tulsi Gabbard's office, to the Department of War, to,
All right, what do you guys think? Ever been to Roswell, New Mexico? Believe there are things there. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the world is too vast, and the universe is too to be just us, But I also believe that they're like interdimensional, like it's a dimension thing, in my opinion. Not saying, but I'm saying. Do me a favor and hit that like button if you have not already done so. Really appreciate it. Lawful protest outside of JLR's community to raise awareness for DV. Will JLR face consequences for the allegations against him? Only time will tell. So, for those of you that don't know, some YouTuber and Nerdy Addict, I believe, were in JLR's neighborhood with a sign of Magnolia with a black eye and saying basically like, JLR did this, basically. And he freaked out, which I'm gonna pull that clip up. And because they were in his neighborhood and he felt threatened, and it was scary. And meanwhile, they were not out in front of his home. They were out in front of his neighborhood, in front of the entrance to the neighborhood. And he was just like, I got to get a restraining order, and I got to do this, that, and the other. Sorry, I'm going to pull a couple of these up. But a lot of people are like, oh, well, how's it feel? Because you've done this to numerous victims and sit outside their house. But when it's you're crying, right? Hold on, guys. I got a couple of things that I wanted to. I'm just going to have to do it this way. This is so much easier. Just to get to my JLR stuff so it's all together. Let me do this. St. Louis. down here? The JLR stuff. Okay, so for those of you who have not seen, he put this, or not he, this picture resurfaced. On October 27th, 2017, JLR posted this on social media as additional abuse allegations from his exes continue to surface. And so here's his post, October 27th, 2017, JLR and Naomi. And knowing what we know now about her, that she was a, schizophrenic and she had these mental health issues, this situation just makes it seem a lot worse. But he wrote, "This is how I do Naomi Riches when she don't make her weekly quota, scamming those internet thirsty dudes." And you can see he's got that to her neck. Obviously, I'm assuming he probably just did it for just to, they were that, just to get attention, just for, whatever. But still, it didn't age well, knowing what we know now. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What do you guys think? All right, let me get out of this. And let me pull up this clip here. Okay, so here is the clip of him talking about it earlier. So let's take a listen.
Dangerous criminal by the name of Matt DeMauro. And he's literally live streaming down the street from my house right now. And this guy's been stalking me for years, making numerous videos. So I might have to call the police and file a restraining order against. This is reasonably fear. This is some fear. This is some fear. I got this guy literally in front of my house right now. Seriously, I'm not playing.
Okay, so
I'm going to show you this.
We're going to replay that, because how many houses has this guy stood out in front of? Attacking the family, saying things, doing things, right? But there's somebody, and he think, oh, that's media, it's totally fine, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as somebody's in his neighborhood, not even right in front of his house, in his neighborhood, he is like, this is stalking, I need to call the police, I need to get restrained, this is scary. I'm just saying, imagine how other people probably felt when he was doing this outside of their homes, outside of their properties.
Violent, dangerous criminal by the name of Matt DeMauro. And he's literally live streaming down the street from my house right now. And this guy's been stalking me for years, making numerous videos. So I might have to call the police and file a restraining order against. This is reasonably fear. This is some fear. This is some fear. I got this guy literally in front of my house right now. Seriously, I'm not playing. I got this guy. This stalker by the name of Matt DeMauro. And this guy's been stalking me for like years. Literally makes videos and stalks me. And I'm gonna have to file police reports and file a restraining order against him. We'll just keep this up just in case something happens to me, somebody busts in the house or whatever like that. But yeah, this is pretty crazy.
Not for nothing, but it seems to me there's a lot of wackadoodles in this whole area, in this whole genre.
Stalker is on me right now. Whoa, he's literally live streaming in my neighborhood, and he's specifically targeting me. Whoa. All right. So yeah, definitely police reports to be filed, and I'm definitely filing a protection order tomorrow against him for sure. Him right here. So yeah, this guy right here. So just in case something happens, so people have been putting in, I had to look, and I'm like, what? The only thing you could do when it comes to these stalkers is just take legal action and, let the police handle it. But I might have to go contact the police right now and let them know, take appropriate measures, right? Scary stuff. Scary stuff. So I think with that being said, I'm going to sign off and go handle things. But please pray for me. Please pray for my family. This guy here has been stalking me for years. This is the same one that's been calling my house. And he's literally by my house, and I'm reasonably in fear here. So you guys seeing it, documenting it. This stuff is crazy. This is crazy. So I'm calling the police.
I mean, I just can't believe the hypocrisy. Like I literally cannot, and I cannot believe that he didn't have his people going, well, wait a minute, JLR, you do this all the time. Like, and he's talking about how scared he is and how fearful he is and how this is a very scary situation. And listen, I'm not saying it's not like a scary situation, but usually JLR is on the other end of that scary situation. So yeah, I'm sure it's a little like, wow. But I mean, again, imagine if they're right out in front of his house, like people have been at Nancy's, or like people were at, you know, any other true crime story that has happened, let's say. I mean, look what he was doing out in front of the laundries. Not that, you know, not that they didn't deserve, you know, chaos, but I'm just saying he's on the receiving end of it now, and he's not liking it.
And I am filing a restraining order against this guy. So be safe out there, folks. God is with me. This is, you know, sometimes when you do your reporting, this is this type of stuff that happens. So whew, crazy.
It's weird to hear him say God is with me when he's a self-proclaimed atheist. Just saying.
So should we end the live, or should we just keep going? Should we just end the live? I don't know. I'm in reasonably fear. So I'm going to sign off for now. I'll be back and take care of this and take care.
Really? How dramatic. And now he's in Arizona. Now he was like, screw this, I'm going to Arizona. But I'm just saying. Oh, absolutely not. I said the same thing. I was like, listen, these people that are coming, I'm telling you, it's crazy to hear people who have committed domestic violence before trying to stand up against someone for domestic violence just because they don't like that person. We live in a hypocritical world. You know, we really, truly do. Jim Jones. Okay, hold on. If you guys are just coming in, we're jumping around. Everything is not necessarily in order, but we're going to cover lots of different stuff tonight. So I'm glad you guys are here. Do me a favor and hit that like button and sub up to the channel if you have not already done so, and consider joining and helping us grow the CNY family and by becoming a member. All right.
There's an experiment that was done in Switzerland in 1997. It's called the twin photon experiment. What the physicists did was they took a single photon, they cut it in two because they wanted two identical photons, same properties. They used fiber optic cables, and they sent one photon 7 miles down this fiber optic cable, 7 miles, the other one down that fiber optic cable, and they're now 14 miles apart. Then the experiments begin. What they found was whatever they do to one photon, the other one acts like it's having the same experience at the same time. So here's a trick question. The trick question was, how does this photon tell this photon what's happening? So they used atomic clocks, and they said, what is the difference in time between when this photon has its experience and this one registered it? The difference in time was 0. How'd the information get from here to here? It didn't, because it's already there, because it is entangled. And this goes a long way to helping us to understand how this field works. The field is neutral and it can only act on what we give it to work with. So when we ask for something to happen, we ask for a prayer to be fulfilled. What you're saying to the field is it's not fulfilled now. You're saying, please let this thing happen. What that means is it hasn't happened yet. And the field will reflect that not happening, which is very different than giving thanks for the outcome that's already occurred. Thank you for the healing. It's already occurred. Thank you for the safety of my family. Because now you're giving the field something it can work with, and it is mirroring back what it is that we give it to work with. It's a neutral field. It doesn't know about good, bad, right, wrong. It's just going to give us back what we give it to work with.
What do you guys think about that? Makes sense to me. What, it does. They say, what is the truth? I watched their live the other day. I watched their live that they were on. They did say he did not put his hands on them, but he has come close in there. And again, this is all just coming from them. So, take it with a grain of salt, take it for whatever it's worth. But he has, they did say he threatened them. He'd, throw temper tantrums. He'd get very, very angry. Like, not good. The one said he threatened to throw hot coffee on her. And again, take it with a grain of salt. It's an ex coming forward, but it is it is something. So she wanted to come out there and tell her experience with JLR, which, but that's the thing. Someone can be in a relationship that has domestic violence for, you could be with a man, say you're married for 5 years. Well, 2 of those years were good, but 3 were bad. And people are going to say, well, why'd you stay for those extra 3 years while it was bad? Well, you don't know the situation. You weren't in the situation. Again, you don't know. But for those 3 years, nobody in their life knew. Nobody knew she was abused. Nobody knew he was abusive, right? That's a lot of times that's how it works. So, and it's like I said, people are like, well, when they were on lives or when they posted pictures, they look so happy together. Well, so did Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie. And look how that story turned out. Because you don't put the abuse out there. You don't put the crap out there. You want people to think it's nice. You're in love. It's, it's awesome. That's what you want people to think. That's the story you want portrayed. You're not going to put out there your bruised, you know what I mean? Not if you don't want people to know. Yeah, I heard that. Okay. Moving on. All right, let me get rid of these here. Give me 1 second, guys. I mean, where do you guys stand? You guys that are in here now, where do you stand? What do you think? I mean, do you believe JLR is innocent of this and she made it up? Or do you believe her? Just curious. Okay. Move this stuff around here. Sorry. But where do you guys stand? I'm curious to know. Will you play a clip of JLR saying he's an atheist? It's in, oh God. It's in the interview that he did 4 years ago. I did play it. Yeah, but even if somebody made the decision to stay in a relationship, that doesn't mean they deserve to be beat. That's not good. Like, that's not a way to look at it, I would say. Just because she stayed, we don't know the reason she stayed. We don't know the reason any woman stays in a situation like that. But to judge and be like, well, she got what she deserved because she stayed, like, that's not cool. Well, agree to disagree, but I feel like if you've never found yourself in that situation, it's, not right to be able to try to judge that situation. Because like I said, whether she chose to stay or not, we don't know the reasoning behind that. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to play this clip here of Bullhorn Betty sticking up for JLR because we all know what we all know, right? She didn't have enough. She could not say enough bad stuff about the guy when he was coming after her channel. She couldn't say enough bad stuff. But now and it's Magnolia and she just hates her. This is how she chose to be on that. Exactly. No one knows, Debbie. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you were able to get out like that. I'm very happy that you were able to get out like that. Just some people aren't, and some people aren't able to for whatever reason. I can probably get the clip and play the clip of him saying he's an atheist from a Christian family. But I have played it. But he has said it, and so, you know what I mean? All right, let's do this. Let's watch this real quick. Let's see what Betty had to say about the freaking protest. I wouldn't even call it a protest. I wouldn't call two people standing on a street a protest.
Tell you something that happened yesterday that really rubbed me the wrong way. And it rubbed me the wrong way, not for any other reason. I always believe in advocacy. But as you guys know, I don't really like getting into drama, and people have accused me of seeing somebody I'm not seeing. I haven't even spoke to for 3 years because I refuse to acknowledge what they're saying because I think it's lies. And I'm not willing to get down whether I like the person or not. I do the right thing all the time, whether it's easy or not, and this is the right thing to do. At the end of the day, I have found a lot of information out, and the bottom line is there was an altercation. I don't know if it actually went physical or not by either.
I have found out a lot of information. I got down to the bottom of it. I don't know if there was a physical altercation or not. So you didn't find out much, did you? Just saying.
Probably the wrong way, not for any other reason. I always believe in advocacy. But as you guys know, I don't really like getting into drama, and people have accused me of seeing somebody I'm not seeing. I haven't even spoke to for 3 years because I refuse to acknowledge what they're saying because I think it's lies. And I'm not willing to get down whether I like the person or not. I do the right thing all the time, whether it's easy or not, and this is the right thing to do. At the end of the day, I have found a lot of information out, and the bottom line is there was an altercation. I don't know if it actually went physical or not by either party. All I know is this right here.
See, I don't know if it was physical or not by either party, but in the video, in the previous time she spoke on this, she was like, well, if you're going to hit like a man and you're going to hit a man, you better believe you're going to get punched back. Like, she was insinuating that Magnolia had put her hands on him first, and he was just defending himself. And if she did put her hands on him first, then she deserved to get her ass kicked. That's literally what this woman was saying before. And now she's going to come out and say, well, I don't actually know if there was any physical assault by either party.
Is, from my understanding, after a nose job. So we're using photos from a nose job that obviously would blacken an eye as the photo for domestic violence. And I find that despicable. I find that all types of wrong. And then furthermore, we do advocacy and we show up at people's houses, right? We do that all the time here on this channel. We have no problem doing that. But the difference is these people
we show up at people's houses all the time. We have no problem doing that. But here you are about to defend and go against people standing out front of JLR's neighborhood. How is that any freaking different, lady? What was it you said the other day when you were talking about Magnolia? What was it? What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
People are already in the spotlight for doing something, either having a child missing. We didn't put them in the spotlight. They're already in the spotlight. And the TV crews are already outside of their homes as is. Their privacy is already gone because they are part of a national media spotlight. But when you take a private citizen and you go out there and you show their home before the world, that is doxing them. That is dangerous. And
that's not true, because his shit came out when the paperwork, when all the court filings and the paperwork came out with his public address on them. Just saying.
And they're content creators, especially in light of Nancy Guthrie, and especially in light of the Savannah Guthrie situation, where because of her fame, other family members were targeted. And it seems like this may potentially be because of the notoriety of Savannah. I find this distasteful. I find this dangerous. I find this to be exactly what they wanted it to be. And what they wanted it to be was somebody to know where this man lives and try to hurt him over something like this. And I think that is, I don't like saying that I'm anti-violent with violent rhetoric. And that to me is what, especially this guy right here. I know him and I know his wife before we had a falling out. Why do we have a falling out? Because on his wife's birthday, he chose to whip her. He chose to hurt her. He chose to take a closed fist and hit her in the face. And I had to stay on the other end of that line while he was doing this. And
again, I don't know this person, so I have what she's saying could be totally true. But I'm not, I'm not defending these people being out in front of JLR's neighborhood just because it's these people. You know what I mean? I don't know these people. I don't watch these freaking people.
Then all of a sudden, him and his girlfriend get mad at me. Mind you, I've never talked about this up until that point. And they decided to, because I had this information, they decided to separate from me and try to club me over the head every opportunity he got, because I knew this deep, dark secret about him, this man here and his wife. And since then, our relationship has been fractured because of that. And that was on her birthday. Here, honey, let me give you your birthday present. Whack, right? That's this guy that's holding this sign. I know him personally, and I know what he did. And so does his wife. And so does his wife. So I find this all too despicable.
Right, but it's despicable for him. It's just not despicable for JLR. Like, first of all, the first time this lady came forward after these allegations came out, she came out and she was like, I'm not going to address this. I'm not going to talk about it. Don't bring it to my chat, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, because she was like, if you care for my well-being, don't bring this to my chat. So I was like, okay, maybe she's like afraid of JLR or something. But then she literally addressed it like 4 more times that I've seen from clips on X. And every time it's been like bashing Magnolia and sticking up for JLR. And it's funny because now she's like, oh, these people should not be outside of his neighborhood protesting, because I don't know what really happened that night, but I don't believe this picture is from the hit she took. And it's not okay, because this guy who's holding the sign has hit his wife before. And that's despicable. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, are these people drinking some kind of Kool-Aid? Or is there something, like, what is going on with these group of freaking nut jobs? Just saying.
All over the place, no matter how you look at the situation.
All of them. They're all
So,
crazy. They all have issues. Like, everybody's insane.
Anyways, let's get off that because I don't want to see his face anymore. I found it dangerous, but it's funny. They can do this, right? They can do all of this, but they can't go out there and help find a missing child or a missing person or a victim of crime, real crime, not one that they manufactured and lied about. So
so this is all manufactured and lies. Here she is blaming Magnolia again. Like, I can't. That she's just disgusting.
Found this highly, highly, highly disturbing. But again, not my monkey, not my circus.
Then why are you talking?
At the end of the day, I could really care less, but I'm just saying that you're putting people's lives in danger on these channels. I don't see how you're any different than the people that abducted Nancy Guthrie. So that's just my statement. I find it wholly despicable.
Ugh. I'll just say. Like, I cannot even. Do these people all hear themselves? Like, they are the biggest bunch of hypocrites I ever freaking seen. All right. Moving on. Have y'all heard of Palm Beach Pete? So for those of you that don't know, there's this guy in Florida. He was, first of all, how it started was he was driving down the highway one day, or driving down the road one day, and somebody pulled up next to them and they were like, holy shit, that looks like Jeffrey E. And took a picture and posted it. And literally it blew up. Like everybody was like, holy crap. I have a few videos on him. But so he comes out and he's like, listen, I'm not Jeffrey. My name is Palm Beach Pete. And then we end up finding out like he was Jeffrey's neighbor. Like he has partied with Jeffrey. These are all coming from him. There was other stuff that like linked Jeffrey and him. And now he's getting like, I don't know. Now he's getting like all this notoriety, but there's a lot of people that have done compare and contrast to his face and Jeffrey's face. And a lot of people think this is Jeffrey. Not saying that it is, but I'm saying in the world we live in, listen, when the information that dropped in those files seen the light of there's no more putting anything back in the box. Like anything is fair game. I feel like you don't know anything that you think you know in this world that we live in. But here he is. Palm Beach Pete is sending a public service announcement to Rockstar Games to let them know that he wants to be in the new GTA 6. Like, it's just bizarre. But I have a few videos on him, but I just wanted to play this clip. It's crazy. It's crazy. That, like I said, Patty, they're all nuts, and they've all got issues. All right. And so this is Palm Beach Pete, okay?
Hey everybody, it's Palm Beach Pete on a beautiful day, driving in my convertible with my hat on backwards. What's with this Grand Theft Auto number 6? I heard everyone wants me to be in it. I would love to be involved. Grand Theft Auto, woohoo! Hey everybody, it's...
Now, I know that if you have not heard of any of this before, that's going to sound a little crazy. But trust me, there's videos that will make you question things. Dude, it looks like him, and the teeth match up. It's insane. Don't go calling me conspiracy theorist, but listen, like I said, after those files dropped, anything is, you cannot believe a damn thing that you see in here. It's crazy. Everything you thought you knew, throw it away. Like, that's where we are. Okay, let me pull some of this stuff up here. I think it's just easier for me to do it like this. That way I don't have to take the time to waste to do this, so we're just going to do it like this.
I was like, Mom, I don't understand. He swiped over,
okay.
And it was full
text. Clarksville. He swiped over. It was a full nude photo. If it was an accident, he could have jerked his phone away. That's not what happened. A student shown 6 to 8 nude photo pics by the superintendent's husband bravely speaks out. Montgomery Central High School student. The superintendent's husband was showing this student nude photographs, and she's speaking out about it.
Nude photo. The 17-year-old ran to call her mom, confused and in shock.
I just called her and told her everything. And I didn't really know what to think because I was like, Mom, I don't understand what I did or why he's doing that.
So you were blaming yourself at the beginning?
Yeah, just because I looked up to him because he was my teacher. And so I'm like, why me?
That's disgusting. And it scared her.
It's traumatizing.
And she had never seen anything like that before.
In a statement, the school district says law enforcement is investigating teacher Matthew Vetter, who they say accidentally and briefly displayed an inappropriate photo. When that happened, did it seem to you like it was an accident?
No, I feel like if it was an accident, he could have jerked his phone away. He could have said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You were not supposed to see that." But that's not what happened.
In total, how many pictures do you think you saw?
It was somewhere between 6 to 8.
The district says Vetter, who is the husband of Clarksville Montgomery County School Superintendent Dr. Jean Luna Vetter, was reassigned off campus.
A place where you send your child to be educated and protected and then them to be violated. We've heard nothing from anyone. And that's the scary thing. They've taken no accountability for their actions.
The reason I wanted to share my story and everything was because I don't want anybody else to feel like they're alone. If it's mental health, if it's anything like that, I just want you to know, you have people to support you and you have a community that will help you.
Finding her own purpose, the message she's always shared.
God never stopped working on my purpose.
No charges have been filed. The school board says the sheriff's office, the DCS, and district attorney investigating. School board says it won't begin its own internal investigation until law enforcement.
I mean, isn't that, to me, if you are a grown adult and you feel the need to show a child, and let's be real, how old was she, 15? To show this girl pictures like that, there's something wrong with you. That's a sign that you are sick. And you should probably not be out and around children. You should not have access to minors. Just saying. Say what you want. All right.
Real, stay alive, be happy. Hey everybody, it's Palm Beach Pete. Where am I now? I'm in LA. Vegas to LA, shooting some content. Back to Vegas, more content. Keep it real, stay alive, be happy.
Just landed in his own private jet. Palm Beach Pete, everybody. Ashley Banfield went through that. Went through all this earlier. Didn't get to see that.
There is the kidnappers may not have or the people takers may not have a conscience at all. They may just be incredibly evil people, but somewhere somebody down the line that knows them does, and eventually that may be where the break in this case comes.
Do you think the interview, I mean, we're all hopeful that it will make a difference, but I'm just thinking the $1 million reward has been out there for a while. Does her speaking this way, do you think it could actually persuade someone?
Yeah, I think there's a possibility. At this point, early on in the case, you say that's a low probability. At this case,
do you guys think Nancy will be found? Do you think there will be an ending? Do you think her body will be found? Or do you think this will be something that just there's never an answer to? What do you guys think?
at this point, you'd say any probability is worth doing. You don't go for the best shot, you go for the only shots you have. And so I think that's where we are with this one. And I think it could, as much as this is, follow me on this, but as much as this is wearing Savannah and her family down terribly, you saw that she is not giving up. She is not surrendering. Even if she gets no closure on this, she is not surrendering herself to the kidnapper. She is not taking away her own kid's mother just because of what they did. She is strong. She is continuing. These are in the worst times of her life, you are seeing the best of her coming out. That's, I think, the best thing you can say about somebody. The type of people who take people like Nancy, when things get tough, they get worse. They are cowards from the beginning, and sooner or later, something's going to break. And people who are watching this, who have a suspicion even that, this, geez, it sounds like this thing over here. Sooner or later, somebody's going to do it. And I think the fact that they haven't done it for money means that the best chance to get them would to be decency.
I don't know. I don't know how this is going to end up. Hold on. Nope, not doing that again.
With that shit?
Just,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Justin talks about his first visit with Usher and Scooter, which sounds a bit weird now, knowing what we now know about, again, the e-files and everything, the Diddy and everything that went down with that.
3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I was with Usher.
Yeah. Just hanging out with that shit?
Just,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was with him about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and yeah.
What was that like? Next thing you know, you have a manager? How did that happen?
He messaged me
Yeah.
on my YouTube, and my mom kind of ignored it. After that, he he looked in the background of my videos and seen that, like, where I lived and stuff. Yeah. And
Isn't that wild? So he had his manager, the guy who ended up being his manager, had messaged him on YouTube because that's where he started posting his videos. That's where he was discovered. But the guy had contacted him on YouTube, and his mom ignored it. And the guy went and, looked in the background of his videos and then tracked his location, found out like where he was at, and then went and found him that way. Isn't that insane to hear now, knowing what we know? Like, that is crazy.
kind of tracked me down.
Yeah.
And he was kind of creepy, actually. But, yeah, and then my mom finally just wanted to get rid of him, so she called him back from an unknown number.
Yeah.
Well, he told my mom he told my mom a lot of like stuff about him and told him to check him out on Google and stuff.
Yeah.
So
That is creepy.
Well-
Now knowing what we know that happened to Justin and a lot of other kids in the industry. I mean, a lot of other kids have gone through that same exact thing. I tell you, money is the root. I don't think money is the root of all evil. I think some people are evil and they have evil intentions, and that's what makes it evil. I think you can do a lot of good with money. If you have a lot of money, you could do a lot of good in the world. You could. There's a lot of good things you could do. But I think if you're an evil person and you have money, then yeah, that money's going to be evil because you're going to do evil things with it because that's who you are. That's what I think. That's just my opinion. Get back to this stuff. I think that's interesting, even if not saying it's true, but it's pretty interesting. That's so funny. It's so funny because he come out and he was like, the first time he heard from the guy, he was like, I've got nothing to do with this Jeffrey Epstein guy. Like, I'm Palm Beach P. And then later on, and you were like, okay, well, he was supposedly his neighbor. He knew him. They partied together. Oh yeah, I wanted to play this. Okay, so this mother and her daughter were standing on the street. She has become so lost in her phone that she isn't able to even recognize her own daughter. Check it out. I mean, she just seems very clueless in general because she's not. First of all, she didn't know the guy gave her daughter a stuffed animal. Then she didn't notice the guy holding her daughter's hand. And then when he gives her daughter back to her, she doesn't even, I feel like, notice the stuffed animal. Is it really like that? Is that for real? Are people that engrossed in it that they don't notice things like that? What do you guys think? Oh, Lord. Oh, that's the same one with JLR. Sorry, there's so many, but it's so much easier to just pull them up like this to go down the list.
Freaky thing did you find out about baby socks? Almost 90% of all of the baby socks that they tested, and amongst several studies, had BPA in them. We have studies showing that baby clothing has the highest amount of phthalates in it, and it's usually in cotton. So phthalates are primarily in baby clothes and cotton over plastic. People don't like me for this because it would be really easy for me to say, just avoid plastic and choose natural fibers. But you can put chemicals on anything, and they do.
So how do you shop for organic cotton baby clothes? How do you know that it doesn't have the chemicals?
You want to look for certifications. So GOTS, Global Organic Textile Standard, that's the certification you should look for. That's the best, in my opinion, of what we have today. GOTS, you have to be an organic natural fiber. So they won't even put GOTS on bamboo, for example, because it's not a natural fiber after it's processed.
Now, we're so under attack by poison in the food, by poison in the water. Like, the toxins just are everywhere all around us 24/7. It's in your shampoo, your body lotion, your toothpaste, your soap, your mouthwash, like any toilet paper, for God's sakes, has chemicals in it that you would not think would be in it. Clothing, like, so your body is surrounded and introduced to toxins every single day, all the time. Perfumes, nail polish, like anything, makeup, anything that, so your body is constantly in this fight or flight mode. But it's crazy to me that you can't, nothing, you don't have access to anything that is not potentially trying to poison you. And now again, highest level of BPA is in baby clothes. Isn't that crazy? Like they tell you, when you used to buy baby bottles, a lot now they don't make them with them, but they used to make baby bottles, and their baby bottles were high in BPA. So you would have to like wash these multiple times in hot water. And then you're like, does it even really come off? Does it even really come out just because you wash it out, right? But to have it be in clothes is crazy to me. And we wonder why everybody's dying today. Everybody's got cancer. Everybody's got issues. I mean, people, it's crazy. A Native American family in Utah is speaking out after what they say was a complete breakdown of the system inside their home. They claim an officer showed up with a woman who legally was not supposed to be near the property due to a protective order, and instead verifying anything, he allegedly ignored the paperwork, crumpled it up, and forced his way into the home. No warrant, no permission, just escalation. So let's take a look.
This incident happened to some Native Americans in Utah.
Hey! House, get out! I know it's your house, and I've got a court order.
The sheriff's already.
Ma'am, I'm the chief of police.
I don't care. You're not entitled over me.
What are you doing?
Stop! We already called the cops.
I am the cop.
He's called Grandma.
I am the cop, so you better get out of the way now.
No, stop! Don't do that for my daughter. Stop!
You better get away from me, young lady.
You have no jurisdiction on her land.
Hey!
This is the law land. You have no right here. Don't arrest
Just
me.
let go
My
of this
daughter
now.
is not enrolled, so let your
Let
hands
go
off
of
me.
mine. It is not now.
Yes, it does. You can't take her. She's not enrolled.
What
Stop.
is wrong with you?
You can't. Let me call the sheriff. I asked him for his help. Stop. Stop him.
Hey!
Stop. You can't take her. You can't take my daughter. You can't just barge in our house like this. He can't. I'm calling him. Call him.
I grab her phone. Call the cops through his phone.
You can't take her over the boys.
Let's go.
Wait,
Hey!
put
Let's
my
go.
shoes on.
Let's go now.
Let me put my
Get up.
shoes on.
Get up. Get up.
Ken, go get my socks over there.
Get up.
Hurry.
Send all the units out here.
Hurry here. She would have had a restraining order
That may
to
be
come
true.
here. Get
There-
that court
there is
paper
no
up there.
restraining order
Get
now.
that court paper up there.
There
I
is
didn't
no
even-
restraining
I
order
didn't
now.
get anything in the mail to go.
Let's go.
Nobody
Enough.
did anything to you.
Enough from you two.
I don't care. You're not supposed to be in here.
Sir,
I didn't invite him in.
enough from you.
She didn't do
I
anything
didn't
to you.
invite him
Let's
in.
go.
I went to close the door.
Let's go.
I'm not
And the
going
kids are in here.
Exactly. Look what you're doing, and the kids are in here.
Exactly. What did
She's
you
got a
do?
court order.
What did you do?
She's got a court
What
order.
did you do?
Get
You
up now.
forced me in.
Get up. Get up.
Tara, get to the house now.
Get up now.
The
Get up.
NSA just barged into our house and is trying to arrest my mom.
Get up now.
Hey, dude, look at what you're doing. Look what you're doing.
Let's go now. Let's go. Let's go.
Look at what you're doing to her arms.
Ma'am, let's go now.
It's the BIA. It's the chief of
Let's
police.
go
It's
now.
the police. He just I called Bud and Bud's calling her other cops. I don't know. He just
Let's go.
pushed his way in. What are you
Let's go.
arresting her for?
Hey, you can't do that. What are you doing?
Let's go now.
I am. I'm recording this all. This is all being recorded.
What are you arresting her
Are you
for?
kidding me, lady?
You can't get in our house. We didn't say you could just come in. What are you arresting her for? Close the door, Anthony.
Are you holding me hostage in this house now?
What are you arresting her for? You can't just say. You didn't even read her rights. You can't just arrest her.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm recording all of
Let's
it.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You're abusing your power. Call Brian today.
I got another set of handcuffs. You go bring them to me?
You
You can't tell her to help you. What is wrong with you? Get out of here. This is unbelievable, man.
Bud's on his way with the regular sheriff. Let me grab my socks. What's Brian's feet?
Hope they sue the shit out of that place.
Check on the fridge. I got his business card up on that fridge. This man is a cahoots with Kendra, that's why. He's so afraid of her because she throws all these threats around that. The police.
You're under arrest too.
Hey, you can't touch her. You can't. What, you want to touch me too?
Will.
Oh my god, that cop should be freaking fired.
What the fuck is
Oh,
wrong with
a
you?
douche.
Jeez, you're just going crazy with everybody.
Let him go. Let him go. I'll go. Let him go.
You will go.
Yes, just leave her alone and we're going to talk to
Let
the
go
sheriff.
now.
Let him go.
Let go now.
Go. Let him
Let
go.
go now.
Let us
I wasn't even holding you.
What
Nobody
are
was
you
touching
doing?
you.
Go
Nobody
now.
was touching you.
Sit at
Let's
the
go.
table, kids. I'm going.
Where's Leo?
Let him go. We
What
have
are
our
you
son.
doing?
We
You
have me. Okay, that's enough. Take me. These are my kids. They're not even enrolled members.
Doesn't matter.
It does too. You got no jurisdiction over them.
Out.
You piece of shit. You can't arrest him.
Of course it does.
Let me see that.
Let me
see it.
Take it off.
Bud's on his way.
Room.
He's in the room. Go ahead, close the door. Lock it, close it.
Isn't that awful? My God, what is wrong with people? Hold on, guys. Stop. This is funny.
Bro, there's no way that's a real thing. Bro, we are slaving away over here.
This guy can't even throw away a garbage bag. He's got to use a lift that he winds up to throw the garbage in the dumpster. Stop it.
We're getting soft.
And they want to know what's wrong with with the world today. Guys can't even throw trash bags in the garbage. Just saying. No. Hold on, guys.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
Well, child's happiness is priceless, right? Especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday. A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on their birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially when it comes to their birthday.
Absolutely.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday. A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
Well, a child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's smile is priceless, especially on a birthday. A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
You know, a child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
When I say programmed, they're all different news stations, all telling you the same thing, and most of them owned by the same company.
I've been so grateful to have this family. I consider this my family, my greater family. And when times are hard, you want to be with your family.
Anybody else think that's a little weird for her to say? I consider this my family, my greater family. Or am I just reading too much into it?
Grateful to have this family. I consider this my family, my greater family. And I don't know if I can do it, but I would like to try. I would like to try. I've been so.
What do you guys think about that? Yes, the owner of OnlyFans has died. Elon Musk is talking about buying it to shut it totally down. I say absolutely do it. Shut it down. Because look what's happened to mothers. Look what has happened to mothers these days. You know, people used to look down on prostitutes, just saying. But now it's okay for moms to sell themselves in their living room. Just saying. Get rid of it. It's awful for society. Okay. Let me get out of there now. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'll be right back. Okay. What's the problem? Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to end this one here. I'm going to take a break. At 11 o'clock, I will be back with another live, but I'm going to end this one here, and we'll move on to different, what else I want to cover. I love you guys. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions. Keep spreading that light, and I'll see you all next time. Please like and sub to the channel if you have not already done so. And if you want to help us directly, the links are all down in the description below. We would greatly appreciate all of your help and support. It's what keeps us going. I love you, and I'll see you in a little while.